This is Canucks Lunch. All Canucks and hockey talk for the next 60 minutes coming to you live from the Sports Action studio. We have John Tortorella, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, on the phone line, so we'll start right there. Good afternoon, Coach. How you doing?
How are you guys?
Very well. As long as we have John on this program, the first question is always going to be, how are the dogs doing? Because the last time we talked to John, one of the dogs was going in for a little surgery.
Yeah, ACL surgery, and the dogs are doing well. And forget about my dogs. We continue to save other dogs, and we do. We still spend a lot of time doing that. And yesterday, we ended up saving a couple others that were 10 minutes away from being euthanized.
That's fantastic.
And not locally. That must be in a bigger city?
That's up in New York.
Yeah.
We're doing a number of different things. We still just haven't wrapped our heads around getting involved totally locally. We're trying to help with some funds towards that, but we're still locked into these dogs that we were with up in New York, and we want to finish our job there. There's 5 left, and so we continue to try to go about our business. Thanks for asking.
Well,
we can talk about that instead of hockey.
We're going to get to hockey, but let us know if we can help. That's very much a cause I believe in, John.
Absolutely. Thanks.
We'll start on Monday's game. John, do you believe in moral victories? And did you feel like Monday's game was a little bit of a turning point with regards to team identity?
Well, I think it's where we want to be as a team with the team identity. I thought we crossed a bridge. Do we stay over on that other side? It depends on how we go our business as we continue playing. And I really stress this. It's not because I think we needed some things happen in the LA game to get some of the ice back from them. But it's not just an LA thing. It's a second half of a season thing. It's about who we want to be. And so we need to have this more consistently in our lineup. And everybody chipped in. I wish they got rewarded with some points as far as in the standings, because I thought we did a lot of good things throughout the game. And, so hopefully, we have another good test tonight. Hopefully we can come back and play the same way.
John, does the team have enough bite, and do you think that bite, if it is there, can reveal itself over the next 30-plus games before the playoffs?
Well, I think that's the way you have to play. And I've seen us do it, and when you see a team do it, at certain stages in the season, then you call upon it again, and that's where we have to be more consistent. And again, it's not about running people into the third row. It's not always about the fighting. It's about playing in the areas, and it's about protecting your goaltender, getting to their goaltender, getting in the blue, protecting your blue. All the things, the areas you need to play in the game. I don't want to get this carried away and that we're going to be fighting everybody. And that's not what it's about. It's about playing the right way, and things follow you around if you play the right way, and things happen that way. So I think we're able to do it, and if we don't, I think it's tough sledding as far as trying to get where you want to be.
John, I think everybody agreed that it was an entertaining game, no question about it, between the Kings and the Canucks, and fans, if they're going to watch the team lose, they'd rather see it go down like that. But ultimately, and we debated this statement back and forth, can playing that way lead to more offense? Because that seems to be the thing circled on everybody's to-do list to watch the team improve upon in the second half, is if the team can play as hard as they did, and they proved that, can they turn that into offense? Can one beget the other?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what you mean by playing that way, because playing that way is forechecking, and that's part of playing that way.
Sure.
And
yep.
When we are forechecking, you will develop chances, and but you get kind of coined sometimes. When you're not getting enough offense, you're a defensive team, and when you're getting offense and you're giving two on ones, you're running and gunning. I think for you to be a good team, one feeds off the other, and one shouldn't hurt the other when you're playing. And so if you're playing stiff defensively and you're playing stiff away from the puck, that should help your offense because you have the puck more. If you're playing hard in the areas, forechecking is part of that game. So I think you have the puck more. And I just don't look at it that way. We're trying to play a complete game. And if you play a complete game consistently, you have a better chance of winning.
No, the forecheck, I think nobody will argue that point. I harken back to the game in December against Edmonton where your forecheck was, I think, batting about 900 that night. Every time that you guys went in, you guys stole the puck off them. That contributes to offense. I think what people were more saying that was different about you guys versus LA was the battle for position and the refusal to back down and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I quite honestly, I don't think we've had enough of that, and I know, it was a big part of before we entered that game what we wanted to do, and quite honestly, I didn't care about the penalties, and I even told the team I don't care about the penalties, because if you're trying to do things the right way to get some of the ice that is yours, take it from the team, you'll probably end up getting some penalties, but you usually kill those penalties off, and we didn't think we were going to end up with 7 early on, and something has to happen there too, where this instigator rule and the turtling that goes on in our game, which is just so embarrassing. We get caught in that. But if Tommy Sestito did that again, I would applaud him. It was the right thing to do. I just think the game has lost a little bit of its honesty and its honor as we've gone through here. And quite honestly, a lot of it's because of the way the rule book is written.
John, we got some questions here from listeners that I'd like to pose to you. Do you feel like the Twins get neutralized somewhat against the stronger teams, and do they need a power forward? Is the best match for them on that right side a power forward going forward?
Well, I don't agree. If you watch them closely and not just look at always the numbers that are on the sheet at the end of the night, I believe the Sedins can play against any team. I thought they were, as far as against LA, they led the way as far as grinding under the hash. They finished their checks, and again, we don't want to turn them into bangers. We want them with the puck. We want them to be themselves as far as what kind of offense they can bring for us. But it always frustrates me when people ask that type of question, can they handle it? They are strong people. They are strong players. They're underneath the hash marks more than a lot of top players in our league. Do we need someone else to play with them? We have not found the right guy. I think Dalpe has done a pretty good job here of late. They've developed some offense off the rush. Burr will definitely get a whack at it when he comes back into our lineup. But they're strong enough people to know that they got to carry a little weight themselves here as far as trying to get more offense for our team and not always be looking for a third guy on their line and do some of the work for them.
John, everybody is pining to see Zach Kassian. It feels like everybody that calls into our shows is pining to see Zach Kassian. Can you foresee a moment in which you give him a prolonged look there?
No, he's going to go through the process, and it's frustrating to me because I think we're going the right way with Zach. He's beginning to get it. He's on the cusp of understanding what it is to be a pro. He still doesn't get that yet. And, and I did say when I first came here, I'd like to try to give him a chance there. But as I've gotten to know him and see some of the things that he needs to learn, I think he's going along the right way here. He's still very inconsistent. He plays the games 2 nights ago that it makes your mouth water as far as what you have there. But then the other night, I can't even find him. And people have to understand when you're playing on a top line, I'm usually playing my top lines against the other team's top lines. There is a defensive part of it too, and he still does not get that as far as playing away from the puck. And these games are so close, you have to be really careful there. He'll get some time there eventually, but people think that you just put because he's a high pick and has a lot of things around him that he should be a top-line player. I don't give a damn what the pick is, what he makes, or what goes on. It needs to be in a type of situation that he goes through the process. He's 22 years old. You don't want to give him all that stuff right away. He needs to go through the process.
John, what can be done on the power play? And we got a couple listeners wondering why not more of the big, heavy slap shots, Edler and Garrison.
And who?
Garrison.
Oh, Garrison's been on the power play from day one and has taken more slap shots than I bet you half the league as far as pucks to the net. So I don't get that question. Weber has done a pretty good job. We've tried him there. All three of them are on the power play. I don't think that's our biggest problem. I think we have gotten shots to the net. We just not have gotten enough tips or rebounds, and that's in that area of the ice we talked about prior, guys, early on here as far as playing in the blue. So we needed it against LA. In the third period, we had 2 power plays there. We needed something to happen for us there to at least get a point, and it hasn't happened. And that's been fairly consistent through the year. So I'm not saying our power play has been good, but it certainly isn't due to not taking shots because Gare has got a ton of shots this year. We have not come in with the second shots and the tips as far as what you need on your power play.
John, we got a listener who wants to know, now that the Canucks own their AHL franchise in Utica, are you and Travis Green playing the same systems and coordinating on that front so that when a Darren Archibald or a Frankie Corrado comes up, it's relatively seamless for them?
Yeah, yes, we are. But I will preface that. I have been an American League coach too. And yes, you want to try to play the system as best you can. But sometimes you need to look at the personnel. And really, you want to try to win some games down there, too. You need to try to develop your players in winning some games. So I think sometimes within a game itself, you may change some things along the way to try to win that game. But the basic premise of how we play here is how they are playing there. And actually, the guys that have been called up, it's come in seamless as far as understanding how we play.
You only saw Adler back for one game, but what did you make of his debut? Because it seemed like he was relatively seamless getting back into action.
Yeah, he played very well. The aspect of the game that I really liked and fell into form and how we were playing that particular game was his physical play. He brought a physical element to us. His first pass was good. I thought he struggled a couple times on the power play, just trying to do too much. He, and Sully, who changes the D back there, I know after the game he felt so much more comfortable in some of the situations the other guys would put in because Eds could take some of the ice time. He is a really good player, and I thought his first game back he played very well.
John, we got a question from a regular listener who wants to know, who's your all-time favorite coach in any sport?
Oh, my all-time favorite. You know what? It'd be tough to talk off the top of my head. I'm a huge football fan. I've always and been very fortunate to have some conversations with like a Bill Parcells. And in Tampa, I was there for 7 years. I spent a lot of time with John Gruden. And there's no specific coach that is my all-time favorite. But I love talking to the football coaches because the amount of preparation they go through and preparing themselves for that one game. It's a little bit different for us. We can't give our players as much because we're playing every other night. They're playing once a week. But it's really intriguing to me what they do as far as the tape work, taping their practices, breaking down their practices, breaking down their games. I've always enjoyed talking to the football coaches. And
we've noticed, John, heard from the players that you're quite a devotee of video, that the players say, we've never done as much video as we do with John.
Yeah, and it's not on the other team. We very rarely show video on the other team. I think especially this year, my first year here, trying to bring upon a new team concept, we have spent a lot of time teaching our game. We don't watch the other team. The only time we watch the other team is on their special teams to get their tendencies, but it's all about us, and it's all about our concept, about our mindset. And I think we need it. And, I'm a big believer, and I know I get criticized, but I don't think I'm trying to spend as much time trying to get this team some rest with our travel because I think it'll pay off towards the end of the year. So we do spend a lot of time in teaching our concept with some video.
And finally, John, before you go, a lot of people weighing in because everybody knows that you're an NFL fan. 4 teams are left. Who are you pulling for to win the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, I think we know that one.
No, well, actually, I'm from Boston, and I'm a New York Yankees and a New York Football Giants fan. But you talk about other coaches. Bill Belichick, I've never spoken with him. He's a real interesting guy, just watching from afar. I'd have to pull for them. I wish my Giants were in there. I'm a huge Tom Coughlin fan and a football Giants fan, but I think with the teams left, I guess I'd have to go with New England.
John, thanks for this. Just one last quick one. Louis going to play tonight or tomorrow?
No, Louis will not even be dressed tonight, and yeah, I'm not even sure if he'll be dressed in either one of these games. We haven't even gotten that far. Lacko will play tonight, and Erickson will back up.
John, thanks for the time. Good luck tonight.
All right, guys, have a great day.
That is John Tortorella, head coach to the Vancouver Canucks. Some fascinating stuff there. We're late. We'll take a quick break here, come back, discuss a little T. Gallagher at 2:30. We'll take your phone calls at 12:45. All that coming up on Canucks Lunch. Sekeres, Price, Midday Show, Team 1040, Team Radio.